Welcome to the part 3 video for 3D. Go ahead and on row 8, the row heading area, select all the way from 8 through 24. Scroll back up, right click and say Insert. And then with all of this selected, go Home. And on the right side, go to Clear and Clear All, just to make sure there's no hidden formatting in there. Click somewhere else to deselect, and then select from A5 all the way to F5. On the Insert ribbon, go over in the Charts area to Insert Line Chart and pick the second one down where it says Line with Markers. Drag it over so that way it's underneath everything and kind of balanced on the page. And scroll down to make sure it's the same below. With a line chart, the information on the side we actually have as our title now. But we want to edit this a little bit, so right click on it and say Edit Text, and then type Pacifica Bay, and then press Enter. So that makes it on a second line. So then we also want to have tourism spending, and then 2010 to 2014 is our title. So right now you see it's a dashed line around our title, so click outside of it and then click back onto it so that's a solid line. Right click on it and then go to Font. You can make the font color anything that you like as long as it's readable. And then we also want it to be bold, and then click OK. All right, so if you look down here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't tell us anything. So what I want you to do is hover over one of the numbers until the screen tip says Horizontal Category Axis, and then right click. Whenever that menu pops up, do Select Data. So over here where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is our horizontal axis, click Edit, and we get a rangefinder. So click the rangefinder and select from B4 through F4, and then click OK. And now you see our numbers have changed, and then click OK. With this horizontal axis still selected like this, right, go to Chart Elements, which is this plus button on the side. On Axes, hit the arrow and go to More Options. You're going to get a dialog box over on the right side, a pane to help you out. Click on the Fill in Line option and then go to Line. And then click on No Line. And then you can close your Axis pane. It doesn't look like it did anything just yet, but just wait for it. Now if you look at your chart, we have a lot of empty space down here that's totally unnecessary. So hover over here till you see vertical axis or vertical value axis, click, and then hit Chart Elements again. Go to Axes, go to the arrow and click More Options. Now double check that you are editing the correct part. So mine just says Format Axis, so go to Axis Options, hit this arrow. Mine went back to the horizontal category axis. I want the vertical value axis, so go ahead and select that. If you look at your chart, the lowest value is about 4,600,000. So the minimum doesn't need to be 0. Make it 4 million. So 4 and 6 zeros. Then click Close. So now your chart looks a little bit more practical. Looking at it, it also skips by more than 1 million each time. So I'm going to go back into my Format Axis options. Make sure I'm again on the vertical value axis. Instead of 1 million, I'm going to make it count by 2 million. Now you can close it again. So it really didn't do a whole lot for us, but it made it just a little bit easier to look at, right? So now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this chart is ridiculously boring looking. So what I want you to do is take yourself over to pixabay.com. This is a totally free sourced photos, which means that you can use them for anything without giving credit. So they are in the public domain, which we will talk about later in the semester. And I want you to find a picture of a beach. These all have a watermark on them, so I'm going to pick this one down here. That is what I think of when I want a beach. A medium size is just fine, and then click download. You may have to type something in to verify it, and that image is now in your downloads folder. If you need to pause, go ahead. But back in Excel, what I want you to do is select your chart, go to chart elements, go to axes, go to more options, and then under axis options, make sure you have chart area selected. On the fill in line option, go to fill, picture or texture fill, and insert picture from file, and then go to your downloads. If you need to, sort it by date so that you know the newest stuff is on the top, and double click on that picture you just downloaded. Very nice. In your format chart area, hit that fill arrow so that we look at border. Instead of automatic, click solid line. Pick any color you like. I kind of like the orange with my beach. And I'm going to make the width 5 points instead of 0.75. It makes it stand out just a little bit more. Scroll down a little bit if you need to, and select rounded corners. Right, close your format axis dialog box. And if you notice now I can't really read any of my text, so if you need to, right click, go to font, and change the color to something that you can read. I'm going to make mine bold just so it stands out. There we go. And my dates, I definitely can't read with mine. So I'm going to make it white and bold. There we go. You can do the same thing with your title if you need to, but mine's pretty readable. Right, go back to chart elements, and we are going to look at grid lines. So go to the arrow and go to more options. This is all those lines you see in our graph. So if you went to no line, it would take all the lines off. But frankly, I think the line kind of helps us see what we're looking at. So I'm going to go to solid line. And you know what? I kind of like the orange, but I'm going to go maybe with a little bit lighter orange than what we originally had. There we go. And I'm going to set the width to 1 point. If you want to play with some of the other options in here, you definitely can. Do not let me stop you. Go ahead and close your dialog box on the side here. Go to Insert Header and Footer. And we're going to, see we still have the chart selected. So click somewhere else in the document and then go to Header and Footer. So I'm going to click Go to Footer, put your name on the left side, and on the right side, put your file name formula. Click somewhere else, go back to normal view, and scroll back up so that your document's at the top. Click Save, and you're ready to turn this in. Good luck with the next few projects.